welcome back to the Aspie Mama. I'm Danny, and today I want to talk to you about a day in the life of an Aspie Mama. I'm going to kind of go through my day yesterday. We had a difficult day. Maybe in the future I can get some footage or something to add in, but it was just like a really hard day and we've had a lot going on, so I just figured it would be good content and something to talk about because it's like a normal, typical off day for us, kind of, where everything that could go wrong goes wrong. So basically the day started off with my husband gets up and he gives the kids their medicine usually right away when they wake up, and our second son had his medicine, and normally he wakes up really early. He wakes up at like 5:36, so we have to get up really early, give him his medicine, give him breakfast, or he just is a mess. Like, he'll get into everything, he'll make a huge mess, he'll get into food and make a huge mess. Like, he's just really impulsive and really not regulated without his ADHD medication. The ADHD medication for him basically kind of grounds him. Without it, it's like everything is overwhelming to him, and with that it kind of focuses him and lets him be able to function in his day. He cannot function at all without his medication. We haven't talked a lot about him recently and all of his things, but he's the one that's more of like a level 2 functionality with his autism, whereas my other son is higher functioning. So yesterday his meds, I don't know what happened, but they didn't work, and that happens sometimes. So if you're new to medication, sometimes it doesn't work. Some days they just have an off day. I don't know. We kind of feel like sometimes if they don't have their breakfast when they take their medication, or they didn't eat before they had the medication, it doesn't seem like it works as well for them. I don't know why. You don't have to, we were never told you have to take it with food, from my understanding. They do say it's better to have like a good diet with it, just because like they suggest eating usually before you take the medication, because once you're on the medication you're generally gonna have suppressed appetite. So definitely, if you're like underweight or anything, you should definitely, like if the child is borderline with weight issues, which is a whole nother video we'll talk about. Yeah, so like if there's a concern with your child eating, like if your child's not a good eater in general because they're a picky eater because of their autism, or they're just a picky eater in general and maybe they're ADHD, then also like the meds, like it's a good idea. Like, we try to give them a lot of food in the morning, and then lunchtime I try to just get them to eat a sandwich, because if I get them to eat a whole sandwich I'm doing pretty good. And then dinner again is like when the meds are wearing off, we try to like get a lot more food back into them. So midday is kind of like our light meal, and then breakfast and dinner are a little bit heavier. So for whatever reason yesterday he did have breakfast, but I don't know why it didn't help. I don't know, he was just kind of in a funk yesterday. Like, he took his medicine, but then he just kind of seemed almost zoned out. Like, he was just very spacey, but then he was very aggressive with everyone yesterday. He kept getting in a fight with his older brother and his sisters, and he was being rough with the baby, and he was just all over the place, and you could see he was out of control because he was like frustrated with the situation as well. Like, I was frustrated because I'm trying to keep him off of everyone, and everyone was frustrated with him because they didn't want him being aggressive to them. No one likes being aggressive behavior aimed at them. And so it's just like keeping an eye on him, which is stressful for me, because when I generally have to keep a good eye on him, because he's just the one that kind of like needs more attention. And in this situation he needed even more attention, because he just was not, I couldn't leave him alone really, because he, you know, I would walk off, but like normally I can leave him for like 30 minutes and just listen in, you know, and hear if he's, usually know by his voice. Like, once he gets high-pitched and squealing, then I making funny noises, then I know like, okay, he's getting out of control and I need to go check on him, kind of thing. And then I usually know like to intervene. But yesterday he wasn't really doing that. It was more just like he would just get ticked off and like go off on someone. And they weren't even necessarily doing anything to him. So that's what I'm saying. He was just really in like a weird mood yesterday. And then we've been having a lot of issues with my 2-year-old, my younger daughter. I don't know, she just like I'm usually pretty structured with bedtimes. Like we've always done, like the kids are in bed by the little ones by 6:30 and the bigger ones by 7:30. And she just has gotten into this thing of like she doesn't want to go to sleep, she doesn't want to go on her bed, like everything upsets her. It's a huge meltdown. It's hard to like calm her down from them because she's just like, there's no reasoning with her, you know. It's like, it's not like, oh, let me give you your blanket, oh, let me give you a bottle. Like that doesn't make her happy. She just keeps going and going. It's like she can't even say what she wants. It's like we'll say, you know, use your words, you know, tell mommy what you want. And sometimes I'll think she wants one thing and then I give her that and then it's like, nope, that's not what she wanted. So it's very hard. She's actually the one that we're seeing like a few signs with already for autism. So we're keeping an eye on her, just kind of like making notes, and we're actually going to start the diagnosis process for her soon. We're kind of getting the paperwork together to start the process. But I don't know, it's just been very hard lately. It's like getting her to sleep and then she's tired in the day, so then she's cranky and then we have to give her a nap, but she doesn't want to take the nap, and if we don't give her a nap then she's overtired, and it's this whole back and forth shuffle of like trying different things, seeing if it works, if it doesn't work. The thing that is kind of working lately is like I'll go sit with her in her room for like a few minutes until she kind of like calms down and chills out, and then like once she's calm and she's not upset anymore, then I'll say, okay, mommy has to go do this, and I'll come back and check on you. And she seems like that helps her kind of like settle in more. So maybe we're starting to think maybe it's a little bit of an issue of like she doesn't want to be by herself, because sometimes her and her sister share a room and they talk to each other, and then they're both babbling with each other, they're both playing with each other, and then we can't get either of them to bed. So sometimes we have to take her sister out, and then she's by herself, and then she doesn't want to be by herself. So it's a whole thing. In quarantine now for almost 2 weeks because my younger son's teacher tested positive for corona, and because he was in school, so even though they were wearing masks and everything, we had to go into quarantine, as well as a lot of the school, and that has not been fun. It's not fun for anyone, but you know, we're gonna take the precautions that we need to take to keep people safe. The kids are going a little bit nuts because they can't get out and there's not much to do. I mean, it's basically like they play video games, they watch a little bit of TV, they play with their toys a little bit. We're actually trying to get them to play with their toys more and maybe try to get them into our garden a little bit, but they don't really like going outside. They never have. They're indoor pets, as we call them, for fun. So yeah, our schedule's been all over the place. Like normally I try to keep more of a schedule, but it's just been really hard with everything. Which when there's not a schedule, everyone's off whack and everything's a mess. Okay, so schedule is like super important, but it doesn't always happen, especially on a day when things are kind of out of control. Then it definitely kind of goes out the window, because it's more about coping and getting through the day than sticking to a routine. That's what tends to happen in our house, just because it's just not always possible. I mean, things happen, especially when you have more than one kid. Like I have 2 special needs kids, and I have 3 other kids on top of that, and so it's kind of like sink or swim sometimes, and we just do what we can to get through the day and start new the next day. So yeah, we had a hard time getting everyone to bed because my daughter didn't have a nap, my younger daughter, and she was in a really bad mood, and we kind of just like space them out in the house the best we can, because we have 3 rooms that they sleep in. Yeah, so bedtime's been really difficult lately. So anyway, so we got to bedtime last night. We got the baby down. We got his little sister down, both of his sisters. His brother passed right out because he'd had an awful day, and we got him to bed early, and he actually passed out really early. It was like really good. He's the one actually that, even though he's tired, he's the easiest to get to sleep, because when he gets to bedtime, he's exhausted and he's just like out. His head hits the pillow and he's out. Whereas my eldest, he's always struggled with sleep. Getting him to sleep is hard. He can be up for hours sometimes, then we're trying to get him to sleep. You know, we give them melatonin as per our doctor's suggestion to counteract the come down from their medication. So Vadia, we were trying to get him to bed. He was making his drink to go to bed, and then we were in the kitchen helping him make his drink before bed, and he got onto the thing of, I don't want to grow old, I don't want to be an adult, I don't want to have to do stuff, and just had a whole breakdown basically. And then once he kind of starts to break down and get emotional about something, he tends to kind of spiral out, and it will just go on and on and on. And it's not that it's not a valid thing or that his feelings shouldn't be acknowledged, but it gets to the point where it's like he's so beside himself that once he spirals out, it's really hard to bring him back in. So generally we try to nip it in the bud as much as possible and soothe his nerves as soon as possible, because if it goes on, it just escalates and it just explodes. My eldest is like a little bit slower to process things, so sometimes things hit him. It could be something he's been thinking on for a day, it could be something he's thinking on for 2 or 3 days, and then all of a sudden it will like click for him, and then he'll just lose it emotionally. And you have to kind of be there with him in the moment and acknowledge his feelings, and then reassure him and break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces that he can handle, because sometimes all of it together is like too much. So it's like we really have to like help him break things down and understand things sometimes to get through it. And then everyone went to sleep. But that is like in synopsis what a day for us can look like sometimes. Sometimes it's really a roller coaster of ups and downs, and other days we just coast along and it's not so bad. It's like anybody, you know, you have your ups and downs, and it really just depends on how you deal with the situation. But it's very emotionally draining sometimes. Like sometimes you're just totally drained at the end of the day and you just need to turn everything off and do something to just unwind and unplug and recharge. And that was one of those days for everyone, I think. I think everyone was just a little like, ugh, from that day. Yep. Alright, well that was this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you found some information in there that's helpful to you. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Also, if you have any video suggestions or something you'd like to see, be sure to leave that in the comments too. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.